Master Cygnus and Vorwick would fight one more battle together before the end.
Why won't you understand, Cygnus? The Orcs need a master to shape their single-minded stubbornness into obedience.
Vorwick, old friend, any control would be temporary. See the Orcs for what they are. An unstoppable force of nature.
What I see, old friend, is that you refuse to share your power and help me protect the Order.
If that is truly your goal, look to the defense of this rift. They are coming.
That works. Right there. Tiptoe through the trap field. Whoa! I guess bigger really is better. How come Cygnus never told me about these things? Hello, old trap buddy. This never gets old. Too cool for school! Who's the big boy? Oh man, this is gonna be amazing! I bet this kills like 100 gazillion orcs! Whoa! I guess bigger really is better. I'm ready if you're ready. Are you ready? 'Cause I'm ready. Enemies are preparing to breach one of our gates. Oh yeah, good to go. More enemies on the way! It's just so pretty! I'm awesome! And handsome! Are attacking! Enemies are attacking! The enemy army is attacking! Enemy forces are attacking! Oh man, this is gonna be amazing! So, turns out I can't actually fly. Yep, I'm better now. older, but a little bit better. How come Cygnus never told me about these things? That's right, I'm War Majorific.
Hey, what's going on? It is not. This is actually Apprentice. I'm not playing 5-star. I've already 5-starred it before. I'm just kind of derping around a little bit. I needed to get this catapult damage up so I could get the unique upgrades, but I think I may have met that quota. So
Who's the big boy?
now it's just letting all the orcs through, and I got to place 8 of these. I
This
think
feels
for
like
this
100
unique upgrade.
gazillion orcs.
So I'm just gonna place a bunch of these and get that upgrade.
Oh man, this is gonna be amazing!
But this one and all of the War Mage scenarios are
come Cygnus
very
never
easy
told me
to
about
do.
these things?
Very easy on Rift Lord, actually.
Whoa! I guess bigger really is better. Oh man, this is gonna be amazing! Who's the big boy? More enemies on the way! Oh yeah, I still got it.
Yeah, no, I don't use war traps at all. You know, the tree with the beehive is actually kind of good. And on the first War Mage map that you have, the tornado is actually pretty good. So it knocks people off the side. But yeah, I agree. I think maybe the part-time, because you can set up a kill box, you know, back into the location. For this one, for example, I take them over to the corner and kill them on the corner. But if the part-time was not quite as forgiving, then I might have to take them out here and kill them in this open area in order to make that. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do about it, but these are definitely the easiest maps. I also think they're very cool, and this one especially, because I'm filling out stuff for the wiki, and I can take guys all the way down at the end, like the bowling ball, for example. I'm actually doing this for the catapult. I set it up all the way at the end, and I can measure out how far a trap travels or something like that because of this map. So this one in particular is very good for testing stuff.
That's right, I'm War Majorific.
But this might be a problem. They're supposed to be able to they're supposed to attack the barricades, and they can't get to the rift. This is interesting. Hang on. What is this? I actually have blocked it off because I thought they were going to go to the other side and destroy the barricades, but it looks like there's something going wrong here. Yeah, every time I come across a bug, I'll, oh, they're dying now. Every time I come across a bug, I start recording and send it over to Robot. I have had a few. They're all my short videos on YouTube. They're recent short ones. Yeah, this is weird. Huh. Well, okay. And I don't think they'll attack me either because they're targeting the rift. And so I can't get them to destroy the barricade by killing me. Maybe I'll wait for some TNT archers. Well, I was expecting them to run through because if you, even if you lose on a map, any of the progress you made for your traps or trinkets or weapons or whatever, you get to keep. So I was hoping that they would just run through this and then I'd lose and I could, you know, reset and then get the unique upgrade for the catapult that increases range and just test how far the range is. But I guess I gotta wait for the end of the round, kill everything. Well, you know, I loved Unchained, right? When Unchained was out, I played too, but Unchained was really, really my favorite. And I just hope this game, because I know Unchained is, of course, offline, but I just hope this game can really live up to what Unchained was. I know there's problems with it, but personally, I liked the sabotage. I liked all the different unique heroes and, you know, upgrades, and I don't know. I just think they did a lot of things right with that game. Some of the things I'm not seeing here that I wish, but, you know, if it can get better, that's all I can ask for. Oh, now this is interesting. So these floor grinders, in this map they don't kill you, but if you play the very last map, the floor grinders do kill you if you walk into them. I wonder why. You'd think that they would suck you up. Well, there's another map that has a lot of these on the ground. I'll be playing that one at some point, and I'll see if I die from those as well. That'll be information for the wiki part dealing with the maps, I think. So I know one of the cool things with Unchained that you can do, and I think this worked in 2 as well, is if you take them next to the rift, they'll target the rift, and then they won't target you or anything else until they get to the rift. And like ogres would run faster or something like that. So I wonder, because these guys aren't attacking me and they're just focusing on the rift, I wonder if it's the barricades or if it's at some point they saw the rift and then they decided to just target it. I'm not sure how the targeting works. I think they retarget every several seconds, I thought, or they repath. Because I've seen kobolds run up to a barricade, run away, and then run back into the barricade to blow it up. Oh yeah, I imagine. I've seen a lot of mods for Age of Empires, another game that I've played played quite a bit. I know about the modding community. You can really dig deep into the game's code and see everything, which is neat.
Traps. Pretty good for a former POW. Let's rumble. More enemies on the way. Huh? How come Cygnus never told me about these things? I bet this kills like 100 gazillion orcs. Who's a big boy? Whoa! I guess bigger really is better. How come Cygnus never told me about these things?
Yeah, and they did that in Unchained. You would take them, when you played like the baths, you would kind of barricade around the rift, and then once they saw the rift, they would just go straight for that instead of you. Which actually, that is a difference between that game and this game, is that the Knoll Hunters, when they saw the rift, they targeted it instead of you as well. So if you could just run next to the rift, they'll just go through. But I think in this one, and I know in 2, they would just target you no matter what, which was annoying. Actually, I don't think they ever went into the rift in 2. Not sure. I feel like they just kept targeting the player.
They're entering the rift.
Yeah, maybe. I know if you block off the rift, they're supposed to attack the barricades. That's what they're supposed to do. And I've seen them do it.
We only have half our rift points remaining.
And they know that their path is taken out. It might just be this map.
I'm awesome.
Because if I did the same thing on another map, which, you know, I'll probably test all of them, now that I know that's a thing. Whenever I go through all the maps and take a look at all of them and find the unique attributes about them, I'll test the rifts, see if that's the case. There's a couple of other pathing things I've found so far, as far as minions and barricades. That's just the latest one. Alright, now that we got the extra range, it's time to test how far the range is.
Master Cygnus and Vorwick would fight one more battle together before the end.
Why won't you understand, Cygnus? The Orcs need a master to shape their single-minded stubbornness into obedience.
Vorwick, old friend, any control would be temporary. See the Orcs for what they are. An unstoppable force of nature.
What I see, old friend, is that you refuse to share your power and help me protect the Order.
If that is truly your goal, look to the defense of this rift. They are coming.
Yeah, I hear it a lot. All the testing, I just don't want to wait for the map to be over, because then I gotta wait forever.
Oh man, this is gonna be amazing!
Now, that being said, the OMDU soundtrack and 1 and 2, they all really reminded me of Warcraft 2. I haven't really got that vibe this time around.
I like it when the Orcs just walk straight into them. That works.
Yeah, good point. They probably do.
Found a good spot.
I accidentally started the map. I wasn't trying to start. F and G are so close together on the keyboard.
Master Cygnus and Vorwick would fight one more battle together before the end.
Why won't you understand, Cygnus? The Orcs need a master to shape their single-minded stubbornness into obedience.
Vorwick, old friend, any control would be temporary. See the Orcs for what they are. An unstoppable force of nature.
What I see, old friend, is that you refuse to share your power and help me protect the Order.
If that is truly your goal, look to the defense of this rift. They are coming.
Okay, we're about here. This FPS and TDID is great mix. Yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely a great mix. Yeah, 1, 2, and Unchained really didn't have a whole lot of lore. There wasn't a whole... It wasn't very rich anyways. I mean, there was something, but... you know, it may have been... You know, League of Legends is a tower defense game. at its finest. You know, Dota is a tower defense game, and all of the characters that you can play in those have a lot of lore. Of course, Warcraft 3 as well. A big storyline with each individual character and how they all kind of come together. So, you know, if they were to release the Unchained heroes back into the universe, then they could probably do some cool stuff with the story about that. All right, so we're about right here. Just gotta figure out how far away that is. That's why I brought the saws, because they're 6 squares long, so then I can just start measuring from that end and work my way over there.
This never gets old. Right there. It's just so pretty. Tiptoe through the trap field.
No, I also wish the hero's secondary ability were cool, because I know Gabriella has just a float, you know, and Cygnus has a feign and stuff like that, and it's just, I don't know. It's not very interesting to me, especially the floating. It's just like, who cares? I like Max's double jump, though. I think that's cool, especially when the game starts to lag a little bit. Then it's very easy. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that.
That works. Right there. This never gets old.
Okay, so that's 96 squares then. That's kind of an interesting upgrade. I mean, if the trap was, you know, used, I measured it before I got the upgrade, and 62 of those squares of a decoy size square. So it actually ends up being like over there-ish. No, it's actually, that's 10. So yeah, it's about right there. That's as far as it goes without the upgrade. I mean, it's not super useful, I guess. But still, it's for the wiki. Alright, now I just gotta figure out which one is next. I gotta save the page and all that. Yeah, you get both. To measure the increased explosion radius, it's definitely going to require a second person. So I'm getting through all the stuff I can do solo, and then because one person's going to have to stand closer to the orcs whenever they explode and kind of figure out what the area is of the explosion. I was able to do that with the decoy, but the boom barrel launcher is a little bit different, I think, in terms of how far it's going to go, because you're going to have to watch, health pools and stuff like that, and you want everything to be kind of close together, but then spread apart far enough to where you can see how far the explosion goes. Measuring explosions in this game is a little bit challenging. Alright, the next trap is the push wall. Okay, so what do we got here? Reduce cooldown, stuns and deals damage, which I'm not concerned about those two. Actually, yeah, stun duration. I'm concerned about that. So we'll do the cooldown. To do that, we'll just play this apprentice level
is gone.
and go to the edge and just see it work.
Okay, that is definitely not an order rift.
Yeah, I'd like to tell you I knew that, but I didn't.
You are correct, Kelsey. That rift is different. Quickly, get traps placed and stay on the move.
Yeah, measuring the flip trap was a lot of fun too.
How do we hear her when we can't see her?
Telepathy, genius. Now, let's try out these traps for real.
I like it when the orcs just walk straight into them. Go, go, go!
Enemies are preparing to breach one of our gates. They've broken through a gate. Here they come. We supposed to go.
They're walking in tar.
They're attacking a barricade.
Alright, that was 13-second cooldown. Alright, let's get that upgrade then. It's going to be hard to measure the pushback with these because when an orc collides with another orc, they don't get pushed back anymore. So I'm going to have to figure something out to do there. I want to say 13, yeah. Yeah, they might be able to. I mean, I'm putting it all in the wiki. It's fairly easy to test this stuff, I guess, except for explosion radius. That's a little challenging. Just because I don't know if it's in a cube or in like a circle shape, as far as the damage, how it's distributed. But yeah, I'm sure somebody could. Maybe they'll take a look at it and then see what I found, and then check, the game code and make sure that what I found is what's supposed to actually be happening, because maybe it's not.
Maximilian is gone.
Okay, that is definitely not an order rift.
Yeah, I'd like to tell you I knew that, but I didn't.
You are correct, Kelsey. That rift is different. Quickly, get traps placed and stay on the move. I will instruct you further when I can.
How do we hear her
Now,
when we
weapon
can't see
damage
her?
is something else, right?
Telepathy,
So when I was testing out some weapon damage,
let's try out
which
these traps
I've
for
been
real.
kind of gathering information about that.
They've broken through a gate.
The wand does either 10 or 11
Here they
damage
come.
when it attacks something. Although it always does it too. It always does like a cumulative amount as well. So it'll always, if you target the same unit. So we got 2. Okay,
is
that
under attack.
was 11 seconds. So either it's not 13 and it starts at 12 and goes down by 1, or it goes down by 2, in which case that's a pretty decent upgrade. Do I know programming? No. Although I do know IT, but no, I don't know programming. I did try and get into PHP editing, sort of, because I wanted to take Warcraft 2 maps and put them into Age of Empires, and there was a program out there that would take colors, assign them values, and then convert it to an image that is usable by Age of Empires. However, I went through all the steps that was on the website, and I was missing something, and so I couldn't get it to work, and had a bunch of crap everywhere, and so I know a few things about it, I guess, but I don't really know any languages or anything like that. I know a little bit of PowerShell, a little bit of Java, but just scratching the surface.
Maximilian is gone.
Okay, that is definitely not an order rift.
Yeah, I'd like to tell you I knew that, but I didn't.
You are correct, Kelsey. That rift is different. Quickly, get traps placed and stay on the move. I will instruct you further when I can.
How do we hear her when we can't see her?
Telepathy, genius. Now, let's try out these traps for real.
They've broken through a gate.
I guess I could test the distance if I keep keep the
Here they
very
come.
last orc of the wave attacking me, then I can test the distance and push back. That turned in 10 seconds. Which means my first number must have been off. So it'll go from 12 to 11 to 10, probably down to 9. Let's see, 10 seconds.
Maximilian is gone.
Okay, that is definitely not an order rift.
Yeah, I'd like to tell you I knew that, but I didn't.
You are correct, Kelsey. That rift is different. Quickly, get traps placed and stay on the move. I will instruct you further when I can.
How do we hear her when we can't see her?
Telepathy, genius. Now, let's try out these traps for real.
Oh yeah, watch that first step. Second time's a charm. Or third. Or fourth. Too cool for school! on the soft part of the rock. Just a momentary pause.
Well,
for the call.
I'm stuck with the bug that's been happening every once in a while to a
I
map
still
where
got
the
it.
orcs will not break the door. I've seen it on one other map, but I test this map a lot, so I've seen it on this map. Like, this is my third or fourth time, I think.
Okay, that is definitely not an order rift.
Yeah, I'd like to tell you I knew that, but I didn't.
You are correct, Kelsey. That rift is different. Quickly, get traps placed and stay on the move. I will instruct you further when I can.
How do we hear her when we can't see her?
Telepathy, genius. Now, let's try out these traps for real.
They've broken
Yeah,
through
I
a
can
gate.
definitely see that. It's like, well, so when I was in high school
they
and
come.
college, and in middle school even, I played the drums, right? So every time I would hear somebody play, I would always kind of just. Ooh, that was 4-3. So let's see here. I mean, listening to the music's cool and all, but you know, the music that some people listen to today is just, it's not the same. So what did we go down to? 9 seconds then? It was 2 to 3. Yeah, 9 seconds. Cool. So it just reduces it by a second each time you get the upgrade. All right. Now let's get stun duration. Don't have the unlock, okay. Let's fix that.
Found a good spot. No, goes on the wall.
This is a really cheap trap. This might be the cheapest
Enemies are
trap there
preparing
is.
to breach one of our gates. They've broken through a gate.
Yeah. I need to find a wall for that. This never gets old. All set.
More enemies on the way.
Tiptoe through the trap field.
The enemy army is attacking on another front. Watch out. Our enemies have broken through again. Here they come. They're attacking the barricade.
Of course, they also do this thing where they get stuck on top of a barricade. Like that. Well, and if you... It's a weird design choice. Trap. Yeah, it's, I'd agree with that. It is a bit weird, right? Because then if you don't ever use the trap, then you don't have the upgrade. But I guess then again, if you're never using the trap, then it doesn't matter.
Just point me to the
But
afterfire.
yeah, I'd agree with that. They get stuck on top of the barricade sometimes, and then the barricade, and I'll show this to you if you are playing this. So when I place this down, it actually takes up a single barricade. You can see where my guy is standing on the mini-map. I'm looking directly into the middle of it, and then if I move here, I'm at the edge. However, there's still this extra piece here at the end. So if you look at the grid squares, the edge of the barricade, the short end of it, this 2 area, if a kobold blows up, they'll blow up about half of a grid square away from the barricade. They won't be able to do enough damage to hit this section of it. So the outsides of the barricade are actually invincible to explosions. However, I have seen them, kamikazes and other like firelings, they'll see that their path is blocked, they'll see the barricade, and they'll not target it for some reason. They'll run away, and then they'll come back, and then they'll run right up next to it and blow up, and then the explosion radius is far enough to do damage. But that doesn't happen very often. And it's one of the ways to get through some of the into some of the longer waves of endless maps that have explosion guys.
Right there! That works. Oh yeah, it needs to go on the wall. Traps, 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 traps. It's just so pretty. Wall only for that one. I'm ready if you're ready. Are you ready? Because I'm ready.
More enemies on the way!
The good thing here is you keep your trap progress when you lose. So all I gotta do is set up a bunch of these and just kind of sit back, and when they get tossed, I start getting points towards pushing enemies.
That's right. I'm War Majorific. And boom goes the... Well, I'll let you say it.
More enemies on the way!
I like it when the orcs just walk straight into them.
Actually, they don't die after some time. There's a couple of instances where mobs don't die even though they're stuck, and that's one of them. I had one where I was playing the second to last War scenario thing, and a mob was actually stuck outside of the starting zone, and they don't despawn from outside of the starting zone, because I stood there and waited for them because it was messing up my part time, so I had to redo it because of that. But they don't always despawn, and when they're on top of barricades, they don't despawn for that either. And I think that's because they still have like a visible path, perhaps. For example, I've stuck a guy up here. He's gotten stuck up here, and then he despawns. I'm not sure if that's why or not. If there's like no visible path or no way to go somewhere. But when they're on a barricade, apparently it's different. Yeah, I'd agree. I think the quick fix is to change the explosion radius of the explosion units. I think that'd be the quick fix. I mean, that's a dangerous fix, just because you may not necessarily want to do that. But yes, I would see that being maybe challenging the program at least, increasing a hitbox or something. You know, one of the unique upgrades about the gear reset trap reset trinket, is it lowers cooldown. So I'm wondering if maybe we can get something like this happening. Because, you know, the units do collide on each other, so maybe that's stopping them from getting picked up. This guy's not having a good day. Yeah, it was an old. Well, we can test that. I haven't tested that yet. I've just noticed it, and then they kind of stay on the barricade for a while. But I can test it. I've already done the barricade trap, so I'll revisit that and see if they do die on top of it or not. And put that in the wiki there. Well, this is racking me up points, I think. I don't know. I don't know if it counts the same enemy or if it needs more, but I mean, tossing 250 enemies isn't too bad.
We won already?
End his misery.
Awesome.
More enemies on the way!
That works.
Entering the rift.
Should've seen that coming. Someone keeping score? Because we totally should.
Alright, I'm 11 through. I will end it. And
I am
then,
just so ready.
that I needed to check the distance of
More enemies
mobs
on the
being
way!
tossed. So I'll have to go back to the first level and set something up. Every mob had a resistance to every element. Didn't know they had a resistance to it. I know that certain mobs didn't take... Well, in this game they don't take any damage. Like Fire Fiends don't take any fire damage.
More enemies in the rift! We only have half our rift points remaining! The rift has been compromised!
Hey, we did it. And by we, I mean me.
Oh, it's interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, it does. It does. Well, I know, you know, armored ogres take less physical damage and stuff like that, but well, once I get to the weapon section of things, start looking at weapon damage, I don't know. I feel like this is a little bit more trivial in the way that it calculates everything. I think it's kind of an all or nothing situation, so there's not a lot to do. Because Fire Fiends, whenever you turn like an arrow wall and you put the fire upgrade on it, it does 0 damage to Fire Fiends, because all of its damage is converted into fire. So it's like now you have a firewall that has an added burn effect and does extra damage to things weak against fire. So it may be a little bit more trivial in this game.
Maximilian is...
Okay, that is definitely not an order rift.
Yeah, I'd like to tell you I knew that, but I didn't.
You are correct, Kelsey. That rift is different. Quickly, get traps placed and stay on the move. I will instruct you further when I can.
How do we hear her when we can't see her?
Telepathy, genius. Now, let's try out these traps for real.
So for this one,
Enemies
we're
are
going
preparing to
to
breach one of our gates. They've broken through our
check
gate.
stun duration and distance traveled for light minions. Kobolds and orcs get tossed the same with the flip track. Got hit 4. Okay, that lasted 3 seconds. All right, 3 seconds done. Should be the same for large minions too, right? I would imagine. Well, we'll get some medium orcs in this. Yeah. Well, in Unchained, you actually, fire damage did actually hurt fire minions. They just had a resistance to it, and they took a percentage less damage or a flat less damage, one of the two. So fire ogres, you could still do burning damage to them. They just didn't take nearly anything at all. But this one feels like that's not the case. Yeah, that it's an all or nothing, and that's probably what they did. Well, they pulled a lot of stuff back from 2. They kind of left Unchained where it was. That's a lot of stuff from 2.
There are enemies.
All right,
in
here we
our
go.
rift
We got a
room.
guy on the top of the barricade, so we'll see if he ever despawns.
They're entering the rift.
Oh, yeah, he did. Okay. All right. All right, he went back to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 squares.
It kind of feels like we're never gonna get
He
there.
went. Okay, that was 13.
Just like a movie theater floor. It kind of feels like we're never gonna get there.
I mean, yeah, that's another 13 to 14 distance. Okay. See what
Was
the
there
medium-
ever any doubt? I mean, except the being captured part.
Yo, I
That was
hated flying. Okay, so I played like 1,000 hours on Unchained or whatever. I then went to 2, and the thing I hated most was flying units. God, they were a disaster. They ruined every part time I was trying to make. They were just a pain in the ass. And it's funny, I actually, when I was playing Unchained, I hadn't touched 2 or 1. I hadn't seen anything about them, and I had actually thought that maybe flying units would be a cool addition. But I'm glad that they didn't make that happen, because that would have been a little bit crazy.
Oh yeah, good to go.
Pretty sure I get medium orcs in this one.
More
Keep them
enemies
alive.
on the way. Ow! Where are your helmets? Oh, no helmets. enemies on the way!
Yeah! I'm awesome! And handsome!
Alright, he gets tossed back 9 squares. Now I know that it's actually 8 squares because it's from this one, not from this one. If they get closer, they'll go 1 square closer. Because the same thing happens with flip traps. If they're at the end of the flip trap, then they'll go 1 square closer than if they were at the front of the flip trap. So, it's from wherever they get hit, whatever square they're on when they get hit, that's how many squares they fly, which in that case, I'll subtract 1 for each of those. So that's 12 then. Yeah, it is kind of late. Like 10 years late. That would be kind of cool though. Make a bunch of Swifty hooves as it was in OMDU. The boss that ran over barricades. And they got a boss in here like that. But he's really easy to kill. Swifty hooves not so much. He's a little bit smaller, I think, and the level was challenging as well because the distance between the rift and the gate that he came out of was very short. So you really had to be watching out for him. And he came out with satyrs, and satyrs had a damage resistance buff that worked on a duration. So it would, as soon as it took damage, it then would be resistant to damage for a while, and then when that resistance fell off, then they could be damaged again. So yeah, I remember having to fight him and his mob of satyrs, and it was a bit. It was a little bit of a challenge the first couple times. All right, we got some data off of that. We need heavy minions, and we need. Let's see. I could probably do heavy minions, not Coliseum. Which one do I want to do? Where is it at? This one. I think this one has them. It's ogres. Yeah, I think heavy minions come out in wave 1. So I'll check that. Is that gonna be easy enough? Kind of a harder level. Yeah, that should be okay. I'll have to bring a couple of specialty things. Should do a bunch of guardians. Yeah, let's place a bunch of guardians at the end and then work with 1 flip trap. Or a push trap, I mean. It's okay if it stuns. And they got armored ogres here too, so I want to see if those are actually the beefiest things in the game currently, are armored ogres. I'd like to see fire ogres in Endless. You know, once you get past wave 25, 25 is a 5 skull. So once you get past that, I would like to see it. Fire ogres come out. That way it really pushes people's defense. And that's of course after they fix the whole collision issue they've got.
Sorceress, that thing you said about how I was, you know, born with innate magical ability like Vorvik?
You don't remember your childhood? Curing your mother's fever, teleporting the family cat down from a tree?
I remember. And yeah, stuff kind of happened when I was around. Just good timing and luck, right?
No, it's not luck. Some of us have to work to use magic. For you, it just happens.
We've no time for this now. You have work to do.
Out of coin. Go, go, go!
All right. See you later.
Enemies are
You take care.
preparing to breach one of our gates. They've broken through a gate.
Yep. Thanks for joining.
So now the ogres are covered in armor?
All that armor should make them pretty weak to lightning attacks.
Is that it? No! Oh! That's doing it,
Enemies at the rift. They're almost there. Thinking hurts. There are enemies in our rift room. Alright, speaking outdoor, this is taking forever. 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 Look out below!
I don't think so.
Get your axe out of my way!
Got another stuck mob on archers, and the archer's not firing. Looks like he killed this one. Ow. Does he retarget? He doesn't retarget. Look at that. Oh, he's targeting an archer. All right, let's see what happens. Okay, he's able to make it.
And
They're entering the
boom
rift.
goes the... Well, I'll let you say it.
Man, the sorceress is really tossing us into the deep end of the pool.
Yeah, it's way more intense than the usual training sessions.
This is not part of your training. There's something different about these new rifts. Every war mage in the Order is investigating.
Finally, we get to be real heroes like Maximilian.
I will settle for you two staying alive and keeping the Orcs out of the rift. Master Cygnus and Vorwick would fight one more battle together before the end.
Why won't you understand, Cygnus? The Orcs need a master to shape their single-minded stubbornness into obedience.
Vorwick, old friend, any control would be temporary. See the Orcs for what they are. An unstoppable force of nature.
What I see, old friend, is that you refuse to share your power and help me protect the Order.
If that is truly your goal, look to the defense of this rift. They are coming.
I bet this kills like 100 gazillion orcs!
It appears when placing the ballista, after it's already placed, you can get stuck. But you can hop in it. But still, you can get stuck while placing it.
Who's a big boy? Too cool for school! Oh man, this is gonna be amazing! Why didn't anyone catch me? That which doesn't kill me makes me not dead.
Enemies are preparing to breach one of our gates. Look out! Our enemies are attacking! Our enemies, they're breaking through again! They've broken through a gate! Here they're breaking through! There are enemies in our rift room! A barricade is under attack! They're almost there! They've destroyed a barricade! We only have half our rift points remaining! More enemies in the rift!
Oh yeah, this was a doozy.
Maximilian is gone. No one knows where he...
Okay, that is definitely not an order rift.
Yeah, I'd like to tell you I knew that, but I didn't.
You are correct, Kelsey. That rift is different. Quickly, get traps placed and stay on the move. I will instruct you further when I can.
How do we hear her when we can't see her?
Telepathy, genius. Now, let's try out these traps for real.
When am I not ready?
It's lunchtime. Enemies are preparing to breach one of our gates. They've broken through a gate. Here they come. I don't know how long I can hold it.
Pretty good for a former POW. Right there! Oh yeah, good to go.
More enemies on the way!
Maximilian is gone.
Okay, that is definitely not an order rift.
Yeah, I'd like to tell you I knew that, but I didn't.
You are correct, Kelsey. That rift is different. Quickly, get traps placed and stay on the move. I will instruct you further when I can.
How do we hear her when we can't see her?
Telepathy, genius. Now, let's try out these traps for real.
Enemies are preparing to breach one of our gates. They've broken through a gate. Here they come. Has anyone seen...
Ow! Someone keeping score? Because we totally should. All set.
More enemies on the way.
Maximilian is gone. No one knows where he is. He left the Order. He left me.
Okay, that is definitely not an Order rift.
Yeah, I'd like to tell you I knew that, but I didn't.
You are correct, Kelsey. That rift is different. Quickly, get traps placed and stay on the move. I will instruct you further when I can.
How do we hear her when we can't see her?
Telepathy, genius. Now, let's try out these traps for real.
Yep, roll on. Like deodorant.
Go faster! Enemies are preparing to breach one of our gates. They've broken through a gate. Here they come. It kind of feels like we're never gonna get there. Dodge like a movie theater floor. It kind of feels like we're never gonna get there. They're attacking a barricade. They're almost there. It's our shoot. Dodge like a movie theater floor. They're entering the rift. Kind of feels like we're never gonna get there. The barricade is under attack. Ah! There are enemies in our rift room! You go first! More enemies in the rift! I feel like I'm not going first, so I should. Dodge like a movie theater floor. It kind of feels like we're never gonna get there.
A little bit older, but a little bit better. Let's rumble!
More enemies on the way!
This never gets old!
They're attacking a barricade! Oh!
We're too sluggish.
I'm walking tar.
We're too sluggish.
Thinking hurts!
I'm walking tar.
Dodge like a movie theater! What?
Found a good spot!
Enemies at the rift!
Ooh.
Maximilian is gone.
Okay, that is definitely not an order rift.
Yeah, I'd like to tell you I knew that, but I didn't.
You are correct, Kelsey. That rift is different. Quickly, get traps placed and stay on the move. I will instruct you further when I can.
How do we hear her when we can't see her?
Telepathy, genius. Now, let's try out these traps for real.
They've broken through a gate! Like a movie. Feels like we're never going to get there. I feel like I'm not going as fast as I should.
The barricade is under attack! Ah! There are enemies in our rift room! Yeah! Oh yeah, I still got it. They're entering the rift! Huh? That's right, I'm War Majorific! Ah! Enemies at the rift! Ow! More enemies in the rift!
Thinking hurts.
We won already? Awesome. More enemies on the way!
We are just...
Josh, like a movie theater floor. Is anyone going we're never gonna get there?
We are...
Josh, like I feel like I'm not going as fast as I should.
They're almost there! You wanna go? We only have half our rift points remaining!
Maximilian is gone.
Okay, that is definitely not an order rift.
Yeah, I'd like to tell you I knew that, but I didn't.
You are correct, Kelsey. That rift is different. Quickly, get traps placed and stay on the move. I will instruct you further when I can.
How do we hear her when we can't see her?
Telepathy, genius. Now, let's try out these traps for real.
Enemies are preparing to breach one of our gates! They've broken through a gate!
Josh, like a movie theater floor.
down, will ya? They're almost there! They're entering the rift!
It's like I'm walking into harness for lunch. We're too sluggish. It's like I'm walking in tar.
Enemies at the rift! Just point me to the after party. Go, go, go! More enemies on the way!
God, it's like a movie theater.
We're too sluggish. I'm walking in tar. We're too sluggish.
This attack courtesy of me.
Joe, I gotta get out of here.
It's like I'm walking in tar.
I feel like I'm not going.
Maximilian is gone.
Okay, that is definitely not an order rift.
Yeah, I'd like to tell you I knew that, but I didn't.
You are correct, Kelsey. That rift is different. Quickly, get traps placed and stay on the move. I will instruct you further when I can.
How do we hear her when we can't see her?
Telepathy, genius. Now, let's try out these traps for real.
They've broken through a gate! Here they come!
We're too sluggish. It's like I'm walking in tar.
Try not to act so stunned.
We're too sluggish. It's like I'm walking in tar.
They're almost there!
We're too
They're entering the rift!